information and entrepreneurship development and empowering farming. So we this one also has a gender issue. Designed basically for men because they are having problems. We are trying to reinvent it using okay. In our action business projects, we have used integrated ICT model, and because the concerns of other speakers I just wanted, we started with the participatory approaches. Participatory needs assessment, participatory prioritization of the needs, and media research, which includes the user access preference, and then the content and the packaging according to the preference. So the content management and the content experts collaborating with various organizations depending upon their needs, and then trying to go for the capacity building for the sustainable initiatives. After we go back, then how do the whole thing run? So we have to really train capacity building master trainers at the basic levels, and also we try to initiate ICT user groups. ICT user groups. So accounts have started, and then mobilization according to the common interests have happened, and then so that they will at least be able to take care of the electrical and other incidental costs that will run for the sustainability. So these kinds of things we have taken care, and we try to go for family as a unit. Even though this ICT is for empowering women, we have taken care that family will be the unit, because let the youth be also interested in, at least youth are interested in ICTs. They get into like fish into the water, they want all the technologies. But when we see the practicing farmers, they are middle age or old age, we have to bring the youth to the fold. So we have used the family as a unit. Utilize the youth as unconventional and educational resources for their parents and like that. And also, after using this as a family approach, because when we did the media research, it is not only the access to the media that is also important. How the women utilize is also important. Cell phone may be there with the farm, but who is actually using that? That also is a question. So these kind of things also one has to keep in mind when we are planning for policies and everything. When we talk about universal access of the media to all the people, reaching to all the people, but whether it is reaching to all the units in women is also very much important, especially when small farm holdings are there. It is she who is having major decision. She is a decision maker, and actually in the peri-urban and semi-urban kind of areas, it is not only she is involved in the farm family farm practices, but maybe she is a decision maker also, farm manager in many cases. And in most of the households that we have seen, 1/3 of them are women-headed farm families. So we have to really address to the gender issues in order to have a better productivity. Even the ICTs also, we have to take care of gender-raised ICT environment to make an enabling environment. So that's why I have taken that particular, providing gender-sensitive enabling environment as an area presentation. So the success of these ICT enabling projects depend on potentials of economies of scale. Many of my learned speakers in the morning also have told how much they have been able to upscale their technologies. Societal acceptance and capacity to use the information technologies. These aspects also have to be addressed in sustainable. Otherwise, there will not be any sustainable. So basically, one have to create an enabling environment through regulations and capacity building for ICT deliveries, and developing content which speaks of the people's, the stakeholders' concerns and reflects their local knowledge also, because they are not only knowledge users of the knowledge, they can also provide the knowledge. That kind of importance to their local knowledge also has to be given. In that case, they will be much more involved in using their ICTs. And education of the young boys and men, which I have already stressed, and promoting increased employment, because the success of ICTs also reflects on how much it is able to provide for the day-to-day ease of the activities, profits, and basically what gain they could get, maybe in terms of employment. Promoting increased employment in IT sector and use of ICTs for men and women groups and grassroots organizations. One of the classical example of these phone ladies in Bangladesh, village phone. This reflects the employment opportunity that ICT is providing. And implementing e-governance strategies which are accessible, including the advocacy of the they are also And what can be the strategies? ICT access strategies to address various experience, especially the information bias for whichever you are facing, whether it is accessible to all the sections. That also is very much important. Basically, in the media research when we had conducted, it's not only the TV, that is TV or video is the highest, like a traditional media, and radio is also accepted. And then the third one is the cell, because it did not really conflict with their activities. They can very easily access the information right away. So that also is important. So one more important point that we got from the research is that you give the more exposure to the media, they develop a kind of life. Cell phone, few people were already having, they never knew how to use it for agriculture. So it is only through exposure they are able to get that kind of knowledge, and they are able to develop that kind of a liking. Similarly, one of our adapted villages is also been hired. So they have also told that CD and DVD is also very important because of their exposure. So that kind of a thing. So exposure is also very much important. And barriers also. So not only for women, if you take, societal barriers also are one of the important things. So which are the places that are universally accessed? That is also important. Another 2 minutes, 4 slides. Technology mix, use of low-cost technology, and these are using multiple media. These are the important things that we have. Next. Telecom regulations, universal access important, but at the same time, capacity building or training. Whether licenses can be allocated to women or this one, or waiving of fees can happen. There are new businesses at that time, taxes waiving and all those things. Maybe we can also think about this kind of policies when you think about this. And promoting the community leadership is also important. Maybe bringing them as groups and ICT user groups and all that kind, and it has created some kind of a community leadership among them. So that will have a long term benefits of the society. And one more thing, policies we can make, but it should have research back. Whatever policies we are making, that research also should be done before having a proper thing. Developing guidelines to mainstream gender to ICT policy. This is also one of the areas of research and action. And demonstrate links between ICT development, that is already done. And gender effects of telecom policy and regulation. And gender and social equity of high technologies like SGIS. So even we are using GPS and GIS to map the leadership patterns, informal leaders, and farmer leaders and all that. What are the areas of influence? That kind of things also we are able to do. Not only the natural resources, but also the social aspects also can be easily mapped by using this kind of. Making strategies for low-income markets attractive to investor providers also, one has to do research upon that, and based upon that, policies can be formulated. Next. And content, this has already been covered, which is developed and available in local languages, accessible to non-literates. These kind of contents are to be taken care of. And training also, and indigenous knowledge in the content also has to be really given importance. And areas of research in the content also I had just given it, which is self-explanatory. And next, so what are the ICT strategies? First, security in using of ICTs and having confidence in use of ICTs. Gender perspectives, in the internet content also, and drafting by all stakeholders in the national ICT policies and legislation, including the education part also. We have done even research on education. Why is that? Because extension education means not only transfer of technology, but also extension education. One of the areas which we have to address. Why is that the women are not coming in such a great numbers, that too in a rural, not urban background, rural background. At the high school level itself, many people are in the arts background. They cannot come into the science background. So policies have to be made, infrastructure has to be made, and then at that level, so that the problem will not come in agriculture universities. So there we have to really address. And use of internet through capacity building and convergence of other digital media also we have to take care. Next. Okay. ICT industry to develop applications for self-development and computer skills. So this is where public-private partnership has to be done.